So the Galaxy S20 FE came onto the scene with really a lot of different colors, a great price point at $699, but also with trade-in values. A lot of people are considering picking this up. But the question I want answered in this video review is the Galaxy S20 FE 5G currently, with the incoming options from iPhone as well as the Pixel 5, going to be worth your time? Let's figure that out in this video. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. If you notice, we're doing a little bit of a different thing. I have a new setup now where I'm going to start showing the face a little more, talk one-on-one with you guys. You know how it goes. Anyway, Galaxy S20 FE, a quick spec refresh. If you didn't watch my unboxing video or you didn't watch my speed test, you probably don't know much about the spec. If you haven't, 6.5-inch Super AMOLED display. This thing also does have a 1080p resolution, but also 120 hertz panel, as well as that it also does have a Snapdragon 865, not the plus, just the regular 865, 6 gigs of RAM on the model I'm testing. It comes with 8 as well on a different model. You also get a 4500 milliamp hour battery, and this phone also has a triple camera, 12 megapixels on 2 of the lenses, and then it does have an 8 megapixel on the third lens. So we're going to talk more about this thing. Those are the key specs, but it comes in like 6 different colors. It comes in the cloud red, it comes in the cloud mint, the cloud lavender, the cloud white, the cloud orange, and some people are a little bit disappointed there's no black color in the cloud navy, but keep in mind there's still 6 different color options, so there should be something you might like. Okay, so the first things I want to talk about is the body of the phone. So you can see here on the front of the display, it's just a really flat screen, rectangular looking. It has a nice punch hole up at the top. It's actually quite small, the punch hole in this camera. On the right side, you do find yourself the power button as well as the volume rockers. A little bit high up, but not bad overall. At the bottom of the device, you do find yourself the speaker grill, as well as USB-C and a microphone. On the left, there's really nothing here. In addition to that, on the back side of this phone, it's really interesting because it's using like this glass-stick design, so it's kind of like plastic and glass feeling, but it also supports wireless charging and reverse wireless charging on board. At the top, you can see we do have ourselves the micro SD card as well as the SIM card slot up there for, you know, putting both those things in there. And it was a little bit weird because when I was using it, you actually have a different one this time where it's like dual-sided versus just having 2 slots on that, you know, SIM card tray. So that's a little bit different. But overall, I gotta say that the Galaxy S20 FE just really, it really blew me away in terms of, you know, feeling like you're getting some personality here with the colors and also giving you a pretty decent price, still feeling pretty premium, more premium than like the A series, not quite at the level of the Galaxy S series, Note series, but pretty impressive for the price you're probably going to pay for this. And if you just wait a little bit, if you don't want it now, I'm sure the depreciation on this phone will come pretty quickly and it'll be even cheaper down the line. So this is going to always be a great little value option if you want a Samsung Galaxy device. Now, one thing I will say about the Galaxy S20 FE is that the design is not over designed. So over my week using this thing, I really noticed that it's not over designed, it's not under designed. It kind of strikes that nice balance of just right, like feels premium, doesn't push the edge too far when it comes to, you know, changing up how you use a smartphone, but still has a nice modern, almost all-screen feel. It has that nice feeling of matte on the back. I mean, overall, this phone just feels like a just right type of phone. It's got good functionality, good practicality, good balance, and nice color personality infused within those elements of the phone, giving you just really overall a pretty pleasing experience with this device. I will say this phone is not easy to one hand, and it's pretty tall. It's not a small phone by no means. It's actually closer to Galaxy S20 Plus versus the regular S20, so don't expect no really easy to hold phone here. But IP68 dust and water resistance. So what does that mean? Basically, you can get this phone a little bit wet and not have to worry about it. It's not like the Galaxy Z Fold or the Z Flip that don't have those things. I know that's a little bit harder with the hinges and stuff like that, but this is one of the benefits of buying a phone that is still kind of, you know, a regular smartphone. You have those benefits of IP68 dust and water resistance. So those are some things I wanted to talk about. On the whole, the durability of this phone feels pretty solid. I did get a couple of scratches already on this device, unfortunately, but it's kind of hard to find screen protectors that ship really quickly right now. If you go look on the internet, you're going to wait a couple weeks to get a screen protector, as this phone is not going to be, as mainstream as some of the other devices, but still, overall, I would say the durability, it doesn't feel very scary to hold this thing because it doesn't have glass. I do like that. And talking about display, guys, so for me, I've been really feeling these OLED displays for a long time, more so than the, LCDs, mostly because they present you with a lot of vibrancy. But one thing that's also nice about the Galaxy S20 FE is the brightness of the display. It gets plenty bright and it really knocks up in the sunlight if you put on the adaptive brightness mode. Next thing I really like is just the sharpness of the text with this phone. The text on the Galaxy S20 FE is just nice and sharp, over 400 ppi, so you don't really have to worry too much about that. It's actually 407. You do have an always on display with this device. You do have 120 hertz. You also do have features where you can adjust the different colors of, the vibrancy. You can have vibrant or you can have basically natural looking with vivid modes and natural modes. So the display here is a well-rounded display. It's super colorful, and I think no one's going to be really disappointed with this. Media watching is excellent on this phone, and having the flat display, it's easy to put screen protectors on this thing if you do get one. In addition to that, you don't really have accidental presses on this display hardly ever because it's not a curved panel, so I didn't see that happening often. So on the whole, overall, with the display, this is a key reason to pick up the Galaxy S20 FE. So discussing haptics in here. If you've used a Pixel device, you're probably spoiled by great haptics or some other phones out there. This phone right here does have a pretty weak vibration motor. It's not that strong. So what that means is that when you're typing, it doesn't feel like it vibrates too strong. I don't know how else to put it. It's just it vibrates pretty lightly, but it still vibrates enough to give you haptics. So the haptic I'm not too disappointed with because, again, we're talking about a phone that doesn't push the limits on price at $999, $1,200, but still feels like it's giving you 95% of that. So the haptics for me were just fine. And next up, moving on to the in-display fingerprint sensor. This is something that I was a little bit nervous about because in the past I've experienced Samsung put very good fingerprint sensors on their premium models, but then when it comes down to their cheaper models, it just seems like they don't work as well. But this one, no. The one on the Galaxy S20 FE was very accurate, like 99% of the time. Unless I just personally didn't put my thumb where it needs to go, it pretty much went down and unlocked that phone every single time. So if you want, a good in-display fingerprint sensor, the Galaxy S20 FE is not going to let you down. More than likely will be pretty suffice for your needs. And now talking about the software with the Galaxy S20 FE, this is an area of the device where you really have to decide, do I like advanced features? Do I like customization? Do I like the Samsung Android experience? Because Samsung really throws it on top with all the features you might think about using on a phone. Plus, on top of that, you can throw on the Samsung services with the Google services, the Microsoft services. It's a lot. And one of my favorite things about this phone is that you do have Samsung Pay as well as, great pop view windows, as well as true split screen multitasking, and also the ability to use a lot of different Galaxy Wear devices. So the ecosystem is pretty strong when you compare it to something like Apple. This is probably one of the better, platforms you could use if you want to have that whole thing where you have the watch, the tablet, the phone, the computer. They got a pretty strong ecosystem on with the Galaxy S20 FE. So software overall pretty decent, but software support, unfortunately, you're not hitting the 5 years of an iPhone, but 3 years is still better than Samsung's older 2 years. And I think by 3 years, you probably will want to upgrade. But if you don't want to upgrade, well, unfortunately, after 3 years, this one's going to be out of software support, but maybe Samsung will push it even further. That's what they're promising. It doesn't mean they won't give you even more software support. So we'll see how it goes with the Galaxy S20 FE. And to cap it off, the Galaxy S20 FE comes with Android 10 out of the box with One UI 2.5. If you're waiting for the One UI 3 Android 11, probably don't want to buy this phone now. You'll probably want to buy it in the future when they start shipping them out with the newer software down the line, but that's going to be way down the line. So just expect that you're going to have to update to Android 11 when it does come for this phone. I want to talk about the performance of the 865. It's a champ. With that 120 hertz, it feels just like the Galaxy S20, basically identical. Only thing is the screen looks sharper on the S20 because it has more pixels. In addition to that, it has more RAM. So sometimes this one, if you have too many apps open, will reload an app, but it's got to be a lot of applications, not just 3 or 4 applications, but like maybe, 8 or 9. Then it might start reloading stuff. So the 6 gigs of RAM actually was fine. I was pretty shocked that it worked this well, but considering how good the S10e performed, that one had 6 gigs of RAM. I also wasn't surprised at the same time. And I did get that Moga controller to play with this phone on Xbox Game Pass, and let me tell you, this thing blew me away how good it was performing. I mean, for 599, 699, whatever this is going for, I thought I was using $1,000 phone. I'm like, wow, why am I even buying these $1,000 phones when I got a phone like this that can do this? Like, it was pretty impressive. The gaming, also the thermals were good on the phone. It didn't overheat, anything like that. I also want to talk about the storage value with the Galaxy S20 FE. Baseline 128 gigabytes, UFS 3.1. Thumbs up. Storage is strong on this phone. You can also expand that memory. So if you need more space, like we talked about earlier with the SIM card tray, you got it here. Talking about the camera systems, I am going to show you samples here in a minute, but I was just like, wow, you have 3 cameras here. This is pretty great. Reason why is because they're putting good sensors in this camera. Good focus. I didn't have a lot of issues with focus. I've had more issues with focus on the Galaxy S20 Ultra. Do you believe this? Like a phone that's like twice the price of this phone, more focus issues than this one. This is a better consumer camera on here than the S20 Ultra, which seems more like for people who just want to set it up on a tripod and fiddle around with their camera all day because the focus doesn't lock in. The focus is strong here on the S20 FE. Also, all the cameras do seem to match up pretty well. They don't look very off when you go from the single ultra wide to the regular wide to the telephoto. This thing just really works pretty well overall. Also, I like that it could do 4K 60 on the rear and on the front. Yes, they omit the 8K, but who the heck is using 8K anyway? I don't want those file sizes right now. It's too big anyway. And the front-facing camera was a little bit cool, a little bit soft. If you're used to Samsung cameras, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about here. But it's not disappointing. If you throw on a filter, put it on warm mode. If you think it's a little bit too cool, you can just warm up your face in the filters. But overall, I would say that it's pretty sharp. It's got good detail, very sharp. If you check out my Instagram, I posted a couple selfies with this phone just to show you the detail on that front-facing camera. 32 megapixels, and this thing could do 4K 60. So I'm pretty happy with the front-facing camera. It is not a bad sensor whatsoever. battery life. I know you guys want to know how's the battery life on this phone. Now, I've been seeing people saying it's great. Some people just really loving the battery life on this phone. For me, this battery life, I've been loving it too. It's in usage, this battery just lasts and lasts. I get through the whole day, no problem on the S20 FE. If you want to know my screen time, I get 5 to 6 hours and it's still on like 40%. So I'm going to show you some of the stats in a minute here, but really the battery life on this phone just really impressed me during usage. I never had it die on me once. I didn't even get scared or close to dying on this phone. And it gives you a nice fast charger right in the box. I think it's like 15 watts or 25 watts, something like that. And it gives you a nice fast charger right in the box. So it charges very fast. It does wireless charging. You can do reverse wireless charging. It's the whole package for battery for me, except for one area, and that is standby. I don't know what it is. It just seems to drain a little bit more than other phones in standby. Secondly, this phone goes from like 100 to 90 faster than other phones. I don't know why it does that either. It seems like all Samsung phones do that. But the minute you take it off the charger, 2 minutes later, it's at 99. 3 minutes later, it's at 98. 2 minutes later, it's at 96. It goes down from like 100 to 90 a little bit faster than other phones out there. But once it gets under 90, it just really just sips battery all day. Audio quality. Reviewing the audio quality, I was impressed. It got plenty loud. It just did its job. Stereo speakers, especially when you turn on that Dolby Atmos mode, it got loud enough for me. So I would say if you're looking for, a really good phone audio and you think this one's going to disappoint you and they're going to put one single speaker, no, it says stereo speakers. It's loud enough. It does the trick. So again, thumbs up there. Phone call quality, also, I got to say it was better than the iPhone 11 for me. Better connectivity, better 5G. This is not a brand war here. This is not me trying to lean one side. I'm telling you my real experience. This phone just had better connectivity, better strength, signal strength, all that stuff. So Samsung putting the camera on the left side probably helped with the antenna placement, giving them even better connectivity than prior phones. So really got to say, this phone right here, 5G performance wasn't the fastest all the time. I'm not on the fastest 5G. I'm using T-Mobile 5G, which is not Verizon, but still, at the same time, the whole package here, I think for the money, this is really a good package. You're getting most of what you would need in a smartphone. It's a very well-rounded phone. And the fact that it's $699 harkens back to years ago when people were paying $650, $700. People are just not interested in buying phones right now that are $1,000, $2,000 like a Galaxy Fold. This was a great pivot move. And what Samsung did here is, unlike the A series, they didn't make a lot of cuts. They only cut a couple of things like 8K video recording and maybe giving you like no curve design, because I think Samsung believes the curve design is the more premium look. For me, I really like the flat screen. They cut back on the glass, but again, you can't really tell because this glassic design almost feels like glass. Overall, this was a great pivot move, and I think if you pick up the Galaxy S20 FE, you're going to feel like you got a $1,000 phone, but you didn't pay $1,000 for it. And that is a great feeling because it makes you enjoy the phone more because you seem like you can extract more value from it. You don't look at your phone anymore with this one and say, did I really need this? No, you say, it was a great price. I love this thing. That's kind of what I was feeling with the Galaxy S20 FE. That's not to say there's not going to be great competition. The OnePlus 8T is on the way. It's going to fight this thing great. The Google Pixel 5 is on the way. It should fight this thing great as well. And the iPhone 12 series is on the way. It should fight this thing great as well. So stay tuned for comparisons to those. And let me know how you like this more podcasty review, talk face-to-face kind of review. Maybe I'll consider doing more of these. And let me know if you got the Galaxy S20 FE, your experience. It helps people decide, do I really want that phone? I mean, that has a nice one, but I don't know. Is it for me or not? Let them know down below in the comment section. Catch you on the next one. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well, stay safe, and peace.